Hey everybody, welcome back to Shock and Schlock. I'm your host, Herschel Gillis, and today is day 20 on the 31 days of horror reviews, and if I sound disheveled, it's because this is the fifth time that I'm attempting to upload this video. Oh boy, I hate technology with a passion, but, gotta keep it up. Anyway, today I'm finally reviewing a Troma movie for the month, and it is one that I've been meaning to check out for a while. I've been a Troma fan for years, but this has been one that, for whatever reason, um, had not seen yet. And that is 1999's Terror Firmer, a Lloyd Kaufman joint, which means it's going to be great. About a film crew on the set of a Troma film who began getting killed by a sexually confused serial killer for reasons unknown. Now, for those unfamiliar to Troma, I'm just going to go over it real quick. Troma, independent film company focusing on distribution and production of the best trash cinema around. It is super over the top, super offensive. It's a Troma movie. If someone says it's a Troma movie, you sort of know what you get. So, for anybody wanting to get into Troma, my recommendations to start out with would be The Toxic Avenger, Poltergeist, and Romeo and Juliet. That's a good one. Just to get an idea of like the style. But anyway, this one, things that I like about it. First off, this is like a celebration of not just independent filmmaking, but Troma in general. There are a lot of callbacks to past Troma films. There are actors that are found in, a large amount of Troma films. There's the writers on this are writers for other Troma films, and there's inside references. There's props from previous films. There are characters from previous films being played by actors from other films. And it also stands on its own, not just as a meta Troma movie. It stands on its own as an original piece of like slasher horror comedy as well. The gore in this is exceptional, being a slasher movie as like at its core. The kills are really good. Stuff like a man getting a funnel put in his anus and then a bong smashed on his head and his brain being ripped out and put in a stove. It is gruesome, actually, at points. There's a lot of nasty stuff in this. This would be a very disturbing and fucked up movie if it wasn't so funny. With stuff like a man getting his penis pickled and forced to eat it. Man gets killed in an escalator. And on that one, he is like getting his guts removed, and a car license plate comes out like it's Jaws. Absolutely hilarious. And it always looks really good. Like, this is one of the best looking Troma movies for gore, for sure. Really, in general, this feels much more like large scale than a lot of other Troma movies, because we're on this whole set and we're getting various different types of scenes. We're seeing not only these people shooting them, but you kind of get an insight in how they're shot as well, as this is a sort of loose adaptation of Lloyd's filmmaking book, How to Make Your Own Damn Movie. Obviously very loose because people are getting killed, and it's a Troma movie, obviously. But it is interesting to see there. Little jokes like how they should use a cantaloupe for a head explosion, and Lloyd says that they're not skimping out on it. Just great, yeah. Lloyd Kaufman's performance in this as the director of the film, and he just plays a fictional version of himself where he's a blind man. Hysterical. Lloyd and Troma in general are never afraid to poke fun at everyone, and offend everyone. And in this one, Lloyd kind of points the finger back at himself too, and it's super funny to see. It's always very charming. The acting in general in this is really great. I love the central cast of this. The slasher is played really well. Lloyd is played really well. It also has, a lot of familiar faces in it, and they always do a good job. Everybody definitely puts their heart and soul into this one. Um, Trauma always feels like a family affair in a way, with the cast of people transferring from film to film or being in each other's movies, stuff like that. James Gunn is one of the writers. For an example here, he wrote Romeo and Juliet. He's in Toxic Avenger 4. And he had Lloyd Kaufman. Obviously, James Gunn has directed Guardians of the Galaxy and the Suicide Squad, and so they're in, host of large movies. He put Lloyd as a cameo in one of the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, and it just shows that everybody in these films sort of look out for each other, and I really appreciate that. Even away from the film. Douglas Buck is also a writer, which is a huge surprise because he is the man behind Family Portraits, specifically Cutting Moments from that, for anybody familiar with Cutting Moments. You would definitely not expect him to be writing a comedy, but he does really good. The writing in this movie is really sharp and really well written. I absolutely loved this. Lampoons and pokes fun at just about every topic that, is a hot button issue, as well as some lighter things like sitcoms and Seinfeld specifically. There's a part in a restaurant where it's set up like a Seinfeld episode, complete with a Seinfeld theme song parody, which is really funny. And they're talking about pickling, and it's great. The music in this is also really good. The original soundtrack is one of the best I've seen in a Troma film, with a, punk rock, hard rock, pop, upbeat sort of soundtrack that I feel really fits the film in general. And for Troma fans that are wanting to see the gore and the nudity and all that stuff, this definitely is up there as one of the most offensive, balls to the wall, nasty, over the top Troma movies, and it is fantastic every second. There is so much nudity in this, male, female, and everything in between is shown. And yeah, Troma's very representative of all groups of people. Everybody gets shit, but everybody is equally as welcome, and that's also something that I've always loved about Troma. It makes you, as somebody that's feels more like an outsider, and into weird things, Troma always provided that security for me. And I think it does a lot of people, and this is one of those films that sort of celebrates that as well, which I really appreciated. So, yeah, not a whole lot bad to say about this at all. I don't really have anything bad. If I had to choose something, I'd say that some of the scenes feel a little disconnected from the main plot because, Lloyd and the cast is trying to make something funny, and they sort of lose track of what the central plot is at times. But it's a Troma movie. That happens a lot of the time. And, you're having so much fun along the way. Who gives a shit anyway? I gave this a 5 on Letterboxd. I totally stand by that. This is by far one of my favorite Troma movies now. Definitely my top 5. So, Terror Firmer. Pick it up on the DVD, the Blu-ray. It's on Troma now. I'm pretty sure you can get it streaming on Amazon. You at least used to, but anyway. You can find it easily, so give it a go. If you're a new Troma fan, I may recommend, those previous films that I talked about earlier in this review. But if you're wanting just to watch this as well, this is a great entry point. Shows you what Troma is all about, and then you can come back to this later after watching those other films and, appreciate it a little bit more as well. So, yeah. That concludes day 20. As always, I've been your host, Herschel Gillis, signing off for today. 0 thoughts, 0 editing, 0 brain cells, and 0 planning. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't and keep your notifications on. Thanks for watching.